This is Hello World tutorial number 10. In this tutorial we'll talk about how to retrieve a business object and also setting attributes on initiate for apply tags, and finally saving the business objects in update mode by editing the movie or editing from the grid column. Let's first go into the test file, and notice I have a old commit open, so I'm going to close that commit. Let's create a new commit for HW10. Select that commit. First of all, I'm going to add an edit option for the list view. Currently you can see there's a delete option, and I'm just going to copy this entire section for ease and then paste before. Now I'm just going to change some of the attributes. This, rather than 45 width, I'm going to do 35. In the link button, I'm going to change some of the attributes. And obviously you cannot have more than one tag with the same ID, so in this case I'm going to name it edit button, and I'm going to change the caption to edit. We do need to pass the movie ID, and then finally I'm going to use the navigate to web part function to navigate to the add edit movie part, and I'm going to pass it the movie ID, and that's exactly how I do that. So now we don't have an add edit movie part yet, but we will. Let's save this part, take the edit movie part, and we're going to change this. Oops, not by rename, but editing attribute. Rather than adding just a movie, we're going to also add edit the movie. Okay, so now we've changed the part. We're going to also add an attribute into here since we need to pass the movie. Let's save the change first. Then let's add some attributes. In this case, movie ID, type is string, view state is store, and we're not going to mark it as required. We're going to within add first, and then add it. Save. Now you'll notice that there's attributes in here, so you can pass the movie ID. Now there's two options in retrieving a business object. I'm going to show you the first option first, which is the inline option. Okay. I'm going to add some code. I'm going to set it to add before this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some inline code. We're going to define a movie object, test app.movie, and we're going to use the app to get the BO, the movie, and movie ID. That retrieves the movie object. Okay. In this case, since it's add and edit, we're just going to first define the object, movie object, which we have. Then if movie ID does not equal this, does not equal empty, then we're going to set it to the get BO, else if movie ID is empty, then we're just going to create an empty object. And we have to create a new object because we're going to use it later on. Let's add the script. As you see, the script is added. Now let's set each of these objects. And here's how we do it. If you wanted to set the attribute for this text box, att text value equals movie object dot name. Save. So now when it's loaded, it will set the movie object dot name as the value for the text property. Let's go through and do the same thing for all the rest. Movie obj dot description. And for this last one, we're going to use the checked property. Movie obj.isActive. Okay. So now when we finish the validation, we are creating a new object. We're going to change this a little bit. Let's edit the code here. Okay. So if movie ID is blank, then we create a new object. Else we will get the movie object defined by movie ID. Save this, and that concludes the editing portion of this movie. We'll make one final change. Right here. I'm going to edit the code, and we're going to say movie is null. If movie ID is null, then add, else edit. Save the changes and update. Okay, and now you can see that there is the ability to edit, and you see either edit movie, or you can click here at the top. Add movie is not found. As you can see, that error exists because we renamed the web part. So we can edit the movie, and there you go. Before the final compilation of this tutorial, please review the additions that need to be changed, because there are some changes to the source files that needed to occur before the build occurred. So review the supplementary video before the build is created so that you understand what changes need to be made.